Who were the Nephilim giants? Throughout Scripture, there were men from one generation to the next who did evil in the sight of Yahweh. To counter evil, we must start with truth and have a foundation, a baseline. There is no better foundation than the words of Jesus. The real question is, are you going to believe him? Jesus said to them, "Are you undiscerning as well? Do you not perceive that nothing which goes into the man from outside is able to defile him? Because it goes not into his heart, but into the belly, purging all the food." And he said, "The thing issuing out of the man, that defiles the man. For from inside, out of the heart of men proceed ill-natured disputes, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, frauds, iniquities, guile, licentiousness, an evil eye, evil speaking, haughtiness, foolishness. All these evil things issue from inside and defile the man." Mark chapter 7, verses 18 to 23. So who were the Nephilim? The Nephilim were in the land in those days, and also after that, during the time when the sons of Elohim came into the daughters of the men, and they gave birth to children by them. And these became the mighty men who were of ancient time, men of renown. Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. The word Nephilim comes from the Hebrew word Nephil, which comes from the root word Nephal, which means to fall. Let's understand the root word, Nephal. Strong's H5307. Nephal means to fall, lie, be cast down, fail, fall away. Now let's look at Strong's H5303, Nephil, which is rendered in English as Nephilim. It is properly understood as a feller, which in its context means a bully, a tyrant. By extension, in biblical understanding, this is a fallen one, an apostate. The word Nephilim does not translate or mean giant in the sense of physical stature, as some translations do, like the KJV. Unfortunately, that idea entered through the Septuagint's translation of Nephilim as gigantes in Greek, which carried Greek mythological baggage of earth-born giants. From there, later translations wove in the angel-human hybrid myth from the influence of the non-canonical book of Enoch. The Hebrew word Nephal, where the word Nephil comes from, is a Hebrew word to simply describe those who fall away from Yahweh. These are rebels, apostates, men of violence. Look closely at what the text actually says. The Nephilim were in the land in those days. These became the mighty men, men of renown. Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. Mighty men, the Hebrew word Gabor, Strong's H1368. These are warriors, powerful rulers, tyrants. Men of renown is a Hebrew phrase, Strong's H034. Shem, men of name, that is, men of reputation. This is a category of a human, not a hybrid species. Genesis 6:5 continues the written context that was building in Genesis 6:4 to further explain. And Yahweh saw that the moral depravity of the men multiplied in the earth, and every imagination of the thought of his heart was only evil all the day. Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. Do you remember what Jesus said? For from inside, out of the heart of man proceed all these evil things. from Mark chapter 7, verses 18 and 20 to 23. Let's read Genesis 6:5 again. And Yahweh saw that the moral depravity of the men multiplied in the earth, and every imagination of the thought of his heart was only evil all the day. Jesus confirmed to us clearly where all evil comes from. Yahweh's judgment falls on man, not on a hybrid race of giants or fallen angels. And Yahweh said, I will wipe out the men whom I have created from the face of the ground, for it grieves me that I have made them. Genesis chapter 6, verse 7. Yahweh brings a flood to deal with the unchecked human rebellion. Moral depravity has spread to almost all of mankind. The Nephilim were simply the most notorious of the wicked, for their apostasy had become legendary. Scripture does not address the issue of evil as being an angel problem. Scripture does not address evil as being an angel-human hybrid problem. Yahweh punishes man. The problem was the wickedness of man, the evil coming out of his own heart, as Jesus later explains this clearly. Evil is a heart problem that solely falls on humans. The book of Enoch was written after the Septuagint, somewhere between 200 and 150 BC. It expanded Genesis 6 into an elaborate angelic rebellion story. It has reflected the same Greek-influenced mythology that I discussed in the virgin birth mythology. This Greek mythology in the book of Enoch has divine beings interbreeding with human women, producing demigods, the exact sort of paganism the scriptures consistently reject. The church system adopted this pagan mythological Greek thinking and hardened its view on the fallen angel doctrine. But the Hebrew scriptures point only to one thing: human apostates. There are no scriptures naming any sort of angelic sin being transmitted to earth. None exist. This is a wicked and evil fabrication thought of only out of the heart of apostate men. The whole idea of a giant race and angel-human hybrids is literary pollution and intermingling of Greek mythology into the scriptures. It is an abhorrent abomination of the truth. The Nephilim giants is a Greek mythological lie that has found its home in the brains of many people calling themselves Christians. Purge that excrement from your minds and turn away from this idolatry.